That's the end of
Ian's putting his big boy
game.
pants on, making some real decisions around here.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the third ever official video of PVTV. I am Justin.
I am Ian.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm back! Yes! For those of you who don't know, I am Jesse.
And he's back.
So excited to be here.
He's overly enthused.
I love it.
Well, today we are here to talk to you about the difference between regulated and unregulated mods. As you can see here in front of us, we have a plethora, smorgasbord if you will, of different types of mods. From box mods, tube mods, regulated, unregulated, and we're here to discuss all of
What
the
all
things.
of that means to you, yes. So I guess I'll start off first with my regulated device. This is a Sigeli 150 watt, goes up to 150 watts. It is regulated, so essentially what regulated means is I am able to control how much power I want to give the specific coil that I'm running at that time. So right now I am running it at 50 watts, which seems to be a consistent vape for me. It's very satisfying. I'm loving the way that it hits. Who wants to go with their unregulated device?
I would love to go with this. This is also a box mod. This
is
essentially an unregulated version of what he has. You do not get to control the power to anything. It is literally just batteries in a box with a switch to control the power. You hit the switch, power goes to the atomizer, heats the coils, and vaporizes your juice. I can't pick what I vape at except for through building of the coils. If you're familiar with Ohm's law, that's how you get to pick what wattage you vape at if you care.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the regulated goes, I've always been a tube mod guy, which would be what Jesse's using there. He'll get into that in a second. I went to a regulated device, loved it. The device I was using was a little big for me, so I ended up going back to a tube mod just for size reasons. But I couldn't stay away, and I'm right back to the regulated device. I love, I feel as though you get much more battery life out of something that's regulated. It doesn't put the strain on your batteries, doesn't drain them as quick. That's something that's unregulated does.
That is absolutely
yeah, plus the fact that I get to adjust it. If I feel like hitting this thing at 52.7 watts, I'm going to do that, whereas, these guys don't really have that option.
Not at all.
They're balls to the wall or no balls at all.
Yeah, I mean, I was the opposite side of Justin. I was always a regulated guy, no matter if it was the Vamo. I had unregulated devices for a little bit. I always really enjoyed having the battery life, especially when going out and I don't have time to carry, 3 or 4 extra batteries with me. I could just throw, my God mod takes 3 batteries. It'll last damn near all day. Yep. And I don't have to worry about it, especially with like the advent of much nicer tanks, the sub-ohm tanks that have been coming out and have become really popular.
Like the Delta 2 and the Atlantis, which we just did a Versus video on review, so be sure to check that out as well.
Yeah, so like...
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. But I like the fact that I can go all day. I don't need to refill juice if I'm going out running to the store. I don't have to worry about that. Something with like my tube mod here, which is the FU Apollo, I have to change batteries every 2 hours, if that. And I'm just running out and always changing batteries, and I always have to have a bottle of juice with me. It's just not convenient for me to run out and do errands. It'd be one thing if I could sit home in front of my desk and just vape away all day. You can do that, but I really like having a regulated device that will give me the same style of vape that I'm used to, but my battery life is 10 times longer than it would be on a mech mod.
Maybe not as as warm or as intense of a vape, but still a satisfying vape. I've been getting a satisfying vape off of this Delta 2 for the past week or so, and yeah, I mean, I go back to dripping every once in a while. The nice thing about the regulated devices is they'll generally fire pretty much any tank you have and, any rebuildable atomizer that you have, so you can switch. Whereas I don't generally recommend putting a tank on a mech mod. That's just a personal...
You can put a tank on a mech mod, especially like some of these sub-ohm tanks, like
maybe
the
some
0.5 coils.
With a lower
you can get away
coil,
with it, but anything if you're doing like Kanger T3Ss or T3Ds, you're not going to get the power that you need out of a mech mod to give yourself a satisfying vape.
Yeah, the higher-end coils that those tanks come with are just not viable with just 3.7 volts that you're only going to get out of your standard tube mod. It can only fit 1 battery. Your battery can at max, right fresh off the charger, can push a max of 4.2 volts. And that's just, it, for me, it's
Yeah.
not enough power to go to a regular
That's another.
with
1 ohm coil.
That's another thing that we should touch on is with a regulated device, whatever voltage you're putting out, you're going to get all through that battery. As soon as you can no longer supply that power, like I'm at 50 watts at 5.1 volts. If my batteries can no longer sustain that, it'll just shut off.
Yeah.
It won't do anything. So, like with a mech mod itself, you have a 4.2 volt fully charged battery. Throughout your vaping experience on that battery, your performance will drop along with the battery.
Absolutely.
And then you become a battery snob, which is essentially as soon as you notice that drop off, you're in there swapping batteries out, trying to
That's me.
trying to get that full battery feeling.
Yeah, as Jesse was saying earlier, he doesn't sit at a desk all day, so it's just not viable for him to
Right.
sit there with mech mods and deal with that. So he runs with the regulated. Me, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I do sit at a desk all day at work, and I sit within arm's reach of an i44 bay charger, which is perfect for my mod. I have an unregulated 3 battery mod. I love it because it pushes a lot of power. I love warm vapes, and in order to get warm vapes, you need a little bit more power than most people.
Yes.
So that's what this box provides me, but it also provides me the inconvenience of swapping batteries
Much more
every-
frequently. Yeah,
every
much more
2
frequently,
hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even with something like most regulated devices that are out now, I mean, go to probably at least 100 watts, I would say, is
Yeah,
the
that's
new
about
norm.
average.
You know, some, one being this one or the God mod, we're going to 150, 180 plus. So, it might not be as powerful as that, but it's still, I mean, for your regular vapor, someone who enjoys dripping, 150 watts is, I mean, I very rarely go to 150 watts.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have 180 watts at my disposal, but I vape maybe 120
Right.
all day. If
Same
I have
here.
an RDA, if I'm using the Delta 2 like I am now, it'll be 50 to 70
cheers.
depending on my mod.
I want to cheer a little Delta 2 cheers.
That's
You
a
guys have like the same drip tip too.
yeah, they do.
Just the tips.
Yeah, just a tip. Very
That's on
nice.
VapeCon 5.
A huge benefit of regulated mods over an unregulated mod is, let's say I'm tired of vaping this RDA. If I want something different, I have to go and completely rebuild new coils,
Correct.
and that's it. What I build is what I get. With regulated mods, you can go slap any tank with
Or-
any ohm coil on there.
Or any RBA with
Or any RBA with any built coil in there.
Yep.
And as long as the regulated device has the potential to fire that coil,
Yes.
you can go from the 7 watts or 10 watts at the lowest all the way up to whatever wattage your device will allow you to,
Yeah.
and easily just swap things on and off all day and not have to change devices. If I want to throw an Atlantis on here, I'm blowing a coil
Dunzo.
immediately. Like,
Dunzo.
if I
Dunzo,
want,
Washington.
yeah, like if I want to catch my tank on fire, that's how I would go about doing it.
You would literally boil the juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing too is that I really like, and another little aspect of regulated devices is the fact that you can put different ohm coils and still get the same vape.
Very consistent vape. Yep.
So I could put a 0.4 ohm coil at 50 watts, or I could put like a 1.2 ohm coil on there and still get the same vape, the same cloudage production. All that's going to do is just change the voltage that is actually going to
That's
the
output.
coil itself.
All right, now that we've covered the different types of regulated mods, there are different types of unregulated mods. We've had a discussion on the tube mod, but there are 2 different ways of wiring unregulated mods. We have the series box mod, and Rebecca over there is rocking the parallel version of the same box. Now the difference between series and parallel is, as you can see, I have 3 batteries. You would think, because I have 3 batteries, I'm tripling the battery life. Not the case. I have a series box mod. It is taking the power and the voltage from all of these batteries and draining them all at the same time. You do not triple your battery power or your battery life, just the battery power.
Correct.
Now with hers,
I have 2 batteries, but I am doubling my battery life, which I like better because I'm a convenience vapor. I change my batteries once a day. I don't want to change them numerous times a day, and I have a little bit more options between builds and tanks that I can put on my device.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is people come in and look for like box mods, or unregulated box mods, and they don't quite know the difference between series and parallel. So to sum this all up, your parallel will give you double the battery life. Your series will actually give you double the voltage. So if you're running 2 18650s, you're getting 8.4 volts instead of the standard 4.2.
Absolutely, that was a perfect explanation, Jesse.
Was nice. Leave me a little
High
bit.
five.
Oh, we're gonna go high
Yes.
five. Little high five.
All right. Well, is there anything else anyone has to discuss about the regulated
I
and
think
unregulated?
one of the points I'd like to touch on too is the nice thing about most regulated devices are they essentially have a built-in safety feature which won't allow you by not firing. I believe the Sigelli 150 watt will fire down to a 0.11, which is fairly low for a regulated device. The God Mod
Absolutely.
fires down to a 0.45.
Yeah, 0.45.
Is the lowest it'll let you build, which is a nice feature, especially if you're a new vapor. You know, you're new to building your own coils. That way, it won't fire anything that's too dangerous. Whereas an unregulated device will
Not
fire
for
whatever you
beginners.
put on it. So
Yeah.
you definitely want to know.
Another thing too about that is you have to worry about in unregulated devices shorts. If you have a short, if wires are touching or something like that, and Hinky goes on and you don't realize it, and you press that button, it will actually still supply power. With a regulated device, it'll read it as a short. My Godmod will actually tell you that the atomizer has a short and won't allow you to fire that unsafely.
Yes,
Keep you from
which would be a knockout situation.
rebuilding 80,000 times.
Correct.
'Cause you
Trying to
fire-
figure out what's wrong with it.
Yeah, you fire that short, and then your coil snaps, and then you have to rebuild all over again, and
Yes.
it saves you from all
Yep.
of that frustration.
There has been instances, yes,
Nicely done.
where you build a coil that will fire on that device, but as you're building, you can't fire it to heat it up, crimp it, get it all nice
True,
and
and
pretty.
that's one of the quirky things about this particular mod in general. It reads ohms weird. So like the build that I have on my RDA that I use for the God mod is set at a 0.46, which will actually read and fire on there. But when you first start crimping it, it read at a 0.13. So that is one of the things that you have to decide when choosing a regulated mod, what you want your ohm floor to be, where it'll allow you to
How low you wanna be
actually
able to build.
fire.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And still doing so safely. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, again, I love my God mod. I have to talk sweet to it sometimes to get it to fire
gotta rub it.
atomizers.
Yeah. And that's why I love.
It's a
my
genie in a bottle, dude. You gotta rub it the right way.
unregulated devices.
I do.
Yeah, I don't have to talk sweet to this thing. It does what I say to do.
Yeah, or it'll smack him in the face.
I mean, that's another big thing with the regulated is just safety features in
Yeah.
general that you get, especially as a new vapor trying to get into dripping, like the dripping side of things and the hobby side of things, that you get that extra layer of protection in case for some reason you mess something up. We do it all the time here.
Even as, yeah, I mean, people who've, vape shop employees, I mean, we still mess up. We're not perfect, even though we do it all the time.
I
Yeah.
melted a lead today. No idea how.
I melt.
I
It
melted
happens.
a lead.
It happens.
Yeah, I actually tried building with nichrome for the first time today. That was an experience to say on this thing. Don't ever try to build with nichrome on an unregulated device that has more than one battery
Yeah,
in
it's
it.
too much power.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Too much power. Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm gonna have to go with given your choice between a regulated and unregulated. I think we kind of covered it, but what would you guys choose? I'm gonna have to go regulated. Honestly, I thoroughly enjoy the battery life. Like Jesse was saying, I mean, I change my batteries maybe twice a day, and I mean that's firing at. Right now, I'm currently using the Delta 2, so I'm at like 50 watts. So I'm getting pretty much all day out of a set of batteries. But even when I'm running my rebuildable like 100 to 120, I'm still only changing my batteries maybe twice a day, and that's 120 watts all day. Super consistent vape.
That's nice.
What about you?
I'm unregulated.
Yeah.
To me, it's more convenient. You pop batteries in, you go. I don't have to mess with settings, volts.
Regulated,
watts,
unregulated
what have you.
in a parallel.
Either
setting.
or.
Okay.
I'll rock a tube mod. Not series. That's for me. It's too much. I don't need that heat and all of that cloud. I just like my nicotine, my little girly clouds.
Nicotine.
Hashtag girly clouds.
That's not a hashtag. There you go.
That's
Girl
all I
tracks.
need. I don't want to mess with settings and screws or anything that comes with a regulated device.
Fair enough. Mine are magnets, however.
Oh, well,
Just saying.
just saying.
Just
Make
saying.
one the few. It's more screws than magnets.
Most of them are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about both. There are pros and cons to each one that I like and dislike. I love the regulated because of the convenience I have. There are some things about this mod in particular, the God mod, which I've been using for about 3 months now. This, when you fire it, it takes about 0.3 to 0.4 of a second to
times
actually fire. It actually tells me.
Look at you.
0.6 seconds for it to fire up. It'll actually tell me.
He talks sweet to it. It talks
Talk
sweet
sweet to
back.
him. Nice.
Yes,
I like
yeah, it'll
that.
actually give me
Nice.
that information. And if you guys see me on like shots fired videos, that's why I always do like that like sort of inhale. I'm
The signature
compensating.
Jesse pull.
I'm
Signature
compensating for that 0.6 of a second that I don't have power going to my
Anything going up.
atomizer.
Right.
With the mech mods I love is they just fire like that. As soon as
Yeah.
you start supplying and connect that circuit, you just get power and it's raw power.
Yep. Raw,
That raw
unadulterated.
power, dude.
I love it. I mean, I've been using. I went to a mech mod. I had the Cosmo box. I used it. I went to a 2 mod. I really enjoyed it. It's just inconvenience because the way that I build, I'm changing batteries every hour because I turn into a battery snob.
Yes.
With the God
Happens
mod,
very
it's like,
quickly.
oh, you have 1 bar battery life. I'm like, I bet I can make it till I get it.
Yeah. That's another,
I'm gonna bank on
that's another
that.
hour. What about you?
Me, I am kind of right there with Jesse. I'm on the fence as well, and the reason I am on the fence, the variant. That is the one regulated mod that I loved it. I'm an unregulated guy all the way, but that regulated mod put some
In all-
plausible doubt in my mind.
In all fairness, Drew, though, that regulated mod fired up to 260 watts.
Yes, the
which
variant,
is-
the
it's a
variant
little
will fire
insane,
down. It is a regulated mod that will fire down to 0.09 at 260 watts.
It's all of the power.
Yeah, I loved it. I miss it. It broke.
Should we do a little moment of silence for the variant?
Please.
All right.
Alright, that's
All
not
right,
bad.
so-
That's-
Yeah, I miss it, and luckily,
Big ups.
I work at an awesome place, and they saw the heartbreak that I was going through when it
The
died.
tears of a clown
And
on his
it-
face.
Yeah, I was gonna get it tattooed, but I decided against it.
Good call, bro.
Just a
Good
variant
call.
right here.
Variant in the shape of a teardrop right here. So I found this box. I'm a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. They showed me this box. They were like, "Hey, we got this box," and I was like, "Mine, mine."
Stuck a
And
flag
then
in
they
it.
were like, "Well, what do you want?" And I was like, "Here's what I want in it."
Here's my specs.
And here it is.
There
And
it
it's
is.
amazing.
It's
and
shiny,
I
it's
couldn't be
glittery.
happier. It's unregulated.
Regulators.
I like the unregulated part about it because with the variant, it had the power I was looking for. But just like he was saying, that 0.6 seconds drove me up a wall. When I want to vape now,
Right
not
now.
0.6 seconds from now.
It's funny too because you think 0.8 or 0.6 seconds is that, but when you're actually firing that button and going to vape, it feels like
It's a
an
lifetime.
eternity.
It's a
It might as well
lifetime.
be a whole second.
Yeah,
Honestly.
mine as well. Man. There's a comedian out there. He had this joke. He was like, everything is practically instant now. I can't imagine the future where you go to the DMV and you have to wait 6 seconds in line, and you're like, Jesus Christ, why do I have to wait 6 seconds? And
bringing
it's
up-
like that.
You're
Like,
bringing up Dane Cook references.
Is that what it is?
and whatnot.
He's
Yeah.
bringing Jesus into this. It just got real.
I need instantaneous power, and that's what an unregulated
Right
device delivers.
Gives you. It does.
One thing I'm excited for in the future is what regulated devices could be. You see a little bit of that with the variant,
Yes.
but you figure regulated devices 1 year ago were the DNA 30s. That was the big thing. You got 30 watts.
30 watts!
That was literally the biggest
shark
thing
in the
ever.
hat.
Everybody wanted them. Inside of a year, less than a year, we have devices that can put out 260 watts, fire damn near anything you wanted to put on it.
Yep.
And I can only imagine what a year from now will actually be regulated.
I mean, it's endless. That's the one thing too about regulated devices is with an unregulated mod, if you want 12 volts, you need however many batteries, 3 batteries
Yes.
essentially. If for a regulated device, the ceiling is electronics. As long as they can make a chip that'll fire it, yes, you may need. I need 2 batteries to fire 150 watts. You know what I mean? So maybe I need 3 batteries to
yeah,
fire.
I mean, with
A
my
little bit more,
with my God
you know,
mod,
Like the God mod.
yeah,
right,
with
up
my
to 180, right?
Yeah.
with the God mod itself, I've gotten this as high as like 11.5 volts, and that's basically I had a 0.8 ohm build in there,
Right.
which allowed me to fire that high ohmage at like 120 watts.
Nice.
Which was probably a solid bit.
Yeah.
It was a solid
Most
bit. The only thing is
definitely
I'm,
sounds like
I'm blowing through juice. Not that happens now with everything else that I have.
Also worth it. Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
This has been, no lie, maybe 5 days.
Yeah. we have a problem.
Yeah.
You guys have a problem.
Yeah, you do not have a problem.
I
Yeah,
know.
Who do you mean?
How long do you get on a
guys?
15 mil weight?
That's a 10 mil, and I'll get like 2 days out of that.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
I get like 2 hours out of that.
Yeah, no lie. 3
I'll
redrips.
get 2 drips out of that.
especially you, yeah. You ain't lying. I think another thing worth noting too is for new vapors, beginning vapors. Just if you guys are curious, most of your starting batteries, pretty much all of them,
Yeah.
are regulated devices. So, just something to keep in mind, just so you guys know. Some of them being variable, which allow you to either have the spinny wheel on the bottom, which
Or
allows
the
you to change your
multiple clicky
voltage,
button
or
thing.
the
Yeah.
multiple clicky button. But yes, pretty much all of them are regulated devices.
Even them in like the last 6 months
Insane.
have come leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Insane.
I know the first episode we did, we showed the Kanger E-mount and the Ego 1 that's sitting right there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, if they had them around, I don't think I would probably have stepped up like I
As
did, or as
fast
quick
Fast
as
as
I
you
did.
did, yeah,
Nearly
needing
as fast
something
as
with
we
more
did,
power.
yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely making it a lot easier for beginner vapors to
buy something
get
and stay
something
with that device,
satisfying the first time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of time what happens is people come in and they get their basic starter kit, and 2 weeks later they're like, it's not hitting hard enough, and they're moving up, and I mean, like a month in they're rocking a god mod, you know.
Yeah.
So it's definitely especially with like the Ego 1 and the E-mount, it's definitely giving beginner vapors, a much more satisfying vape for their buck, still in that starter kit range,
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's very nicely done. So with that, I think we should go into our winner of our
Absolutely.
viewer question giveaway, which is going to be Anthony Del Titty. Del Tiato. It's Anthony Del Tito. We know you, bro.
Del Tostitos.
Tis you. So you will be receiving a 120 mil of your favorite house juice. So be sure to come in
Nice.
and pick that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have
So
it ready
much
for you.
juice.
We'll rub it on our beards. We'll
Yeah.
autograph it if you want. You probably don't want that, but we'll rub it on our beards.
I'll
anyway.
autograph anything.
We're just gonna autograph it anyway.
Anyway, there you go. You can just save the bottle for forever.
Posterity.
Yeah, for when we're famous.
I could just see it in like 6
If I
years from
ever
now.
see
it's
that thing on
on
YouTube, on eBay, I'm coming for you, bro. I'm coming to take it back.
Yes.
It's got my name on it.
Yeah. See that name? That's 9/10 of ownership.
Yes. All right. So with that, I think we will conclude the third ever episode of PVTV.
Thank you for tuning in. Make
Yes.
sure you like and subscribe. We
Please
really
like and
appreciate
subscribe.
it.
We really,
Wait,
really
before
appreciate
we go,
it.
do
We're
we
not
have
going to
anything?
beg, but we're going to beg. We really appreciate it if you like and subscribe.
Do you got anything as far as drawings for this week?
Well,
Nothing?
what we did want to point out, good call. High five again. We're just gonna
Got
high
you,
five the
bro.
shit out
It's
of each
all
other.
Have you
High
wanted to
fives.
guess?
What we are going to say is, on the last video, we said that if we picked your comment for this video, you would be winning a surprise gift. That's going to range for all of our videos.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
say this week we go back to Preferred Vapor episode 1 and we pick a comment or a question from that comment selection, you will win something from episode 3.
So what we're essentially saying is, no
Yeah,
matter
sum that
what
up for
video
me.
you comment on, out of all of our videos,
All
you
three
may
of
have
them.
a chance to win something. So please, if you haven't seen all the videos, go ahead and watch them.
Yep.
Doesn't hurt to comment on them, even though they may be a month old.
Even that too. I think we should pose a question this week, and I think the question should be: are you a fan of regulated or unregulated, and
Unregulated.
why?
Unregulated.
Wegmans.
Unregulated. Give me some of that
Keep
unregulated.
it regulated.
But in the comments below, just tell
Down
us
here.
whether
Yeah.
you're regulated or
General.
unregulated, and why you feel that that's your go-to vape every day.
I never thought I'd be doing this.
And if you say unregulated in the comments and you ever come in the store, I will high five the shit out of you.
Yes.
Because that is hilarious.
No, I was making up for the last time I was on and mispronounced silly wabbit.
Yeah.
So I had to do it this time.
You did. We did the W.
I just had to. I had to redeem myself to feel good.
New kids on the walk. All right, so with that, we will conclude it. So for this episode of PVTV, I am Justin.
I'm Ian.
Ah.
Now you're Rebecca.
Now,
All right, one more time for good measure. I am Justin.
I'm Becca.
I am Jesse.
The guest. And I'm Ian.
Yes.
Thank you guys very much. We will catch you
Have a
on the
good
next
one, guys.
episode of PVTV. Have a good night.
I don't want to vape an empty tank in the middle of this shit.
Dry hit.
Yep. It comes with dry hit.
That's what happens when you have a 2 mil tank, bro.
I can't feel my
We should mention that he's had to fill his tank up 7 times in the filming of this.
Yeah, I'll just shoot this video.
Good, dude. I'm still full.